Hi, welcome to today's Vinyasa flow. For today's practice, you're just going to want a block or a thick sturdy book will work just fine. And we're going to get started in a reclined position, but on our bellies, so a prone position, I guess. Coming into what we call crocodile in yin yoga. Laying on your belly, create a little pillow at the back of your hands here. Forehead rests on the back of the hands. Giving yourself a few rounds of breath to settle in here. Feet are at about hip distance. Body is nice and soft. Noticing on the inhales, your belly fill as it presses into the mat. Exhale, gentle release, softening here. 2 more rounds of breath. Next breath, bend your right knee, right heel towards the glute and reach your right hand behind you. Now you can stay laying down here, or some people prefer to prop up on their elbow, whatever feels most comfortable. Just some gentle pressure for a quad stretch here. Heel pulls towards that glute just as far as feels good, not forcing anything. Give yourself another breath. And release. Extend the right leg long, other side. Left knee bends, left hand reaches behind you. Again, upper body can stay lowered or prop up on that elbow. Gentle pressure for the quad stretch here, listening to your body. One more full cycle of breath. And release. Extend that leg, press up to a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, look up. Exhale, round the spine, tuck your chin, press away from the mat. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, round your spine, press away from the mat. Few more rounds here at your pace of breath. Adding in any other movement that feels good to warm up your spine. We'll pause next time you come to a neutral spine, crown of the head points forward. Then on an inhale, reach your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand under left arm. Thread the needle. Right shoulder comes towards the mat. Right cheek or right ear resting on the mat. Inhale, back to center. Lift that arm. Exhale, hand to the mat. Other side, inhale, sweep left arm to the sky. Exhale, left arm under that right arm here. Right shoulder rests on the mat. Left ear or left shoulder. Oh man, rights and lefts today. Next inhale, lift that left arm towards the sky. Exhale, hand back down to the mat. Inhale, bring your right knee off the mat, keeping the knee bent so your sole of the foot's pressing up towards the sky. Then left arm reaches forward, challenging your core here. Bring that left hand behind you, reaching for the foot. Now you might stay reaching. Maybe you can grab the foot kicks into the hand if that's the case. Full breath wherever you are. And release back to the mat. Other side, left knee lifts off the mat, keeping that knee bent. Core is engaged. Right arm reaches forward. Find your balance here first. Then right hand reaches behind you for that foot. Maybe you reach it, maybe not. If you reach it, foot kicks into the hand. Belly is soft towards the mat. And release. Knee to the mat, hand to the mat. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to pedal out the dog or shift your hips side to side. But we're keeping this down dog a little shorter. In fact, walk your feet in and out a little wider here towards the edges of the mat. Heels dropping closer to the mat. Then right hand reaches for left ankle, a little down dog with a twist here. Just one cycle of breath, heels pressed towards the floor. Maybe even look under that left armpit. Hey-o. Next breath, release. Right hand back to the mat. Left hand reaches for right ankle. You can gaze under that right armpit. Heels pressed towards the mat. Release back to center, finding your typical down dog shape. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, you can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center, adding on. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, head hangs heavy. Inhale, half lift, long legs, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes, hands back by hips. Inhale, lift for locust. Engage the back body. Exhale, back to the mat. Hands under shoulders. Inhale, press up to plank on toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Handful of breaths here. You can pedal out your down dog or shift your hips side to side. Or if stillness feels good, give yourself a little time there. Continuing to press into both hands equally, keeping those hips nice and high. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, you can look up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank position. Inhale in plank, press away from the mat. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Elbows graze the ribs. Untuck your toes and take your feet wide. Inhale, lift your heart for cobra. Elbows hug into the side body. Exhale, back to the mat. Inhale, press up to your plank, toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back. Handful of breaths in down dog. Stretching out those hamstrings here. Heels pressed towards the mat. Bringing either a little or a lot of bend to the knees so we can keep that spine nice and long. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, you can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga or the mat, elbows hug in. Inhale, up dog or cobra, heart pulls forward. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep right leg to the sky, toes point down. Exhale, right foot between the hands, warrior two, back foot parallel to short edge of the mat, arms at shoulder height. Inhale, right palm flips up, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, left arm comes overhead. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg, hips reach back, fingertips forward, triangle. Right hand reaches towards the floor, left arm towards the sky. Full breath here, press into the blade edges of both feet. Inhale, bend into your front knee, back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to the mat, low lunge. Step back to plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga or the mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, sweep left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands, warrior two, other side. Back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Inhale, left palm flips up, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, right arm overhead. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg, hips back, fingertips forward, triangle. Left hand towards the floor, right arm towards the sky. Chest stays lifted here. So we're not compromising our chest so we can press into the mat. Keep that heart lifted. Next breath, bend into your front knee, return to warrior two. Cartwheel your hand to the mat, low lunge. Step back to plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga or the mat. Inhale, locust, cobra or up dog. Exhale, meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale for a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, arms reach up, you can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step just your right foot back for crescent. Inhale, arms frame the face. All toes pointing towards the top of the mat. Back heel presses away from you. Inhale, shift forward for arrowhead or power lunge. Exhale, pour your weight into your front foot. Warrior three. Arms can stay reaching for a bit of a challenge or draw your hands to heart center for a little grounding here. Next breath, bring your hands back by your hips, airplane arms. Option to stay here or lower the hands towards the mat. Standing splits, nose points towards the knee for just a moment. Bend into your front knee, return to crescent. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Step just your left foot back. Inhale, lift for crescent. That sequence on the other side. Find your base here first. Then pour your weight forward, power lunge or arrowhead. Exhale, warrior three. Imagining that capital T shape, maybe hands are at heart center, back foot might be a little lower. Finding your version. Next breath, hands come back by your hips, crown of the head continues to point forward. Standing splits, hands to the blocker mat, nose points towards the knee. Here for just one breath. Then bend into that front knee, return to crescent. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward folds. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Preparing here for standing balance. Pour your weight into the left foot. Right foot becomes light. Pulling that knee up towards your chest, 90-degree bend in the knee. You can keep your hands here or bring them to your hips. Little stability here. Keeping that engagement in your knee lifted. Find quad stretch. So pull your right heel towards the glute. You can pause here. Maybe right hand comes to the outside edge of that foot. Maybe left hand reaches for the blade edge. Noticing how that changes your balance here. Hand can stay up the hip if it needs to. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next breath, release the foot, step back to crescent, hands frame the face. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinge forward. Pour your weight into your front foot. Warrior three. Pausing here for a moment, toes point down towards the mat. You can stay here or bend that right heel towards the glute once more. Giving yourself just a moment. Maybe that right hand even reaches back for the foot. Whew, that lasted. Next breath, release. Toes to the mat, arms frame the face. Exhale, hands to the mat, forward. Exhale, hands to the mat, low lunge. Step forward, forward fold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Funky little sequence on the other side. Weight pours to your right foot. Left knee lifts. Hands can stay at your heart or at your hips, wherever you feel more balanced. Rooting down through that standing leg. Keeping your core engagement. Left heel pulls towards the glute, finding a quad stretch here. Left hand to the outer edge of the foot. Maybe right hand comes to the inside of that foot. Giving yourself a moment. Noticing if your knee wants to splay off to the side, pulling it back under you. Next breath, release back to crescent, toes to the mat, arms frame the face. Inhale, draw your hands to heart center. Exhale, hinge forward. Pour your weight into your front foot. Warrior three. Toes start pointing down towards the mat, and they can stay right there. Or bend your back knee, heel pulls towards the glute. Maybe left hand reaches for that foot. Breathing here for a moment. Next breath, release, bend into the front knee, arms frame the face. Exhale, hands to the mat, low lunge. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Full breath here, hang heavy. Release any binder grip you may have. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more round through that sequence with just a bit changed here. Shifting your weight to your left foot. Right knee pulls towards the chest, starting with standing balance. Hands at heart or hips. Next breath, bend the knee, pull that heel towards the glute. Holding here, quad stretch, no hands for just a moment. Next breath, extend into warrior three. Toes point down towards the mat, hands stay at heart center. Inhale, open your hands for airplane arms. You can stay right here or clasp your hands behind your sit bones, pressing your knuckles towards that back wall. Full breath here. Nice and gentle, bend into your front knee, finding crescent, hands stay clasped, knuckles pressed towards the floor, heel towards the back wall. Give yourself a moment. Inhale, arms release, back to frame the face. Exhale, hands to the mat, low lunge. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root up through your feet, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pour your weight to your right foot. Left knee lifts. Hands where you feel stable, find that engagement. Then pull left heel towards the glute. Quad stretch here for a moment, holding that, squeezing the thigh. Next breath, extend into warrior three. Hands at heart center, crown of the head points forward. You can stay here or inhale, open your arms for airplane. You can stay here or clasp your hands, pressing the knuckles behind you, almost like a little baby cobra in the upper body. Nice and gentle, bend into that front knee, heart lifts, knuckles press towards the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, arms release back to frame the face. Exhale, hands to the mat, low lunge. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in, breathe out. Now you are welcome to take any version that feels best for you here. For dancer, I'm gonna pour my weight into my left foot. Right heel pulls towards the glute. Right hand on the outside of that foot. Now you might pause here. Notice that right knee tracking down towards the floor. You can pause here, great balancing and quad stretch. Or walk your hand to the big toe side of the foot, opening the elbow. Inhale, lift left arm towards the sky. Exhale, slowly begin to kick that foot into your hands. Left hand reaches forward. Focusing not on how far you can reach forward, but pulling that heel away from your glute. Embracing the wobbles and wiggles. Giving yourself just another moment here. As slowly as you can, release back out of it the same way we got in. Some days it's really graceful, some days it's really not. Giving yourself a moment here, pedal out your legs between sides. Preparing for that other side. Pause here, root down through both feet. Begin to shift your weight towards your right foot. Left heel pulls towards the glute. Left hand grabs that foot here. Now you can pause in the quad stretch, pointing that knee down towards the floor. Or open the elbow, walking your hand to the big toe side of the foot. Right arm reaches towards the sky. As you're ready, foot begins to kick into the hand. That's what helps you lever forward for your version of dancer, Nadaranjasana. Heel pulls away from the glute. Hand resists foot. Foot kicks into the hand. Embrace the shape for another moment here. Feeling that fire build in your standing leg. Slow motion release out of the shape. Both feet to the floor. Pedal it out for a moment. Maybe you do some spirit fingers, shake out your arms, whatever you need. Preparing for Malasana, I'm gonna bring the block behind my heels because that feels best for me. Take your feet nice and wide, toes out at 45 degrees. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, sink your hips down, pausing when your body tells you to. Nice long spine. Crown of the head stays pointing towards the sky. Weight is towards the blade edges of your feet. Elbows press into your knees. Give yourself another full cycle of breath here, sitting nice and tall. When that's complete, release. You can take the block out from under you, seated on the mat here. Extend your legs wide for a seated wide leg forward fold. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, bring your right hand palm facing up to the inside of that right leg. Left arm reaches overhead. Open chest here, so we're not reaching down for that foot, closing the chest. Keep your heart lifted. Imagining your fingertips could reach your toes, even if they're really far away, like mine. Side stretch to the left side of the body. Inner thigh stretch on the right side of the body. Another full breath here. Inhale, come back to center, both arms lift. Exhale, left hand inside that leg, palm faces up, right arm reaches overhead. Keep the chest lifted, reaching the fingertips towards the toes, seeing if we can find a side stretch in the right side of the body, inner thigh stretch on the left side of the body. Another moment. Inhale, come back to center, both arms lift. Exhale, hinge forward, and then fold forward, letting the upper body round as it feels good. This pose is sometimes called pancake. Do not worry if you look nothing like a pancake. Just finding your shape here. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. Head hangs heavy. Next breath, walk your hands in, pressing your upper body out of the shape. Bring a bend to the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Then feet come in front of you. Finding a reclined position. You'll want your block somewhere within reaching distance. Lower down to your back body here. First time on our back body in this practice, so embracing it. Soles of the feet press into the mat, hips, shoulders, head, all supported here. For supported bridge, inhale, lift your hips just high enough to slide that block under your sacrum. Find a height that feels supportive. And then settle into your shape. Of course, all yoga poses look different in every body, but bridge in particular, you might notice a lot of differences. Some bodies feel good with their legs extended long. Some bodies prefer to have their feet a little wider, a little narrower. Hands can rest on your belly, down by your hips, out to a T shape or overhead. So many options here. Explore them. Take your time. When you find stillness, settle in for a few rounds of breath. Encouraging those inhales and exhales to lengthen just a bit here. If your legs are extended long, walk them in towards your body. Soles of the feet press into the mat. Inhale, lift your hips just high enough to release that block out from under your sacrum. Lower the hips back down. Then hug your knees into your chest, not a tight squeeze, a gentle hug here. You can pause in reclined child's pose, opening your knees to either side, hands rest on the shins, toes touching. Or find happy baby, hands to the outer edges of the feet. Maybe they grab along the shins or the back of the thighs, wherever feels good. Soles of the feet shining up towards the sky. Taking whichever pose feels best in your hips. You might shift between those two shapes. Maybe you play with some movement here, rocking side to side, or straightening one leg and then the other. Or if stillness feels good, allow yourself to settle into that for a few cycles of breath. No right or wrong. Find what works for you. Next breath, hug your knees into your chest, slowly lowering your soles of the feet down to the mat. Arms come out to a T or a cactus shape. Adding in some gentle windshield wipers here for a bit of a twist before we close out practice. Letting the knees fall side to side. Working at whatever pace feels right for you. And of course, if you want to spend a few rounds of breath on one side or the other, allow yourself to do so here. Nice, slow, gentle movements. Feeling that low back as it presses into the mat. Can continue with this movement for as long as it feels good for you. When you're ready, coming into our last active shape, a tight little yogi hug. Knees hug into the chest, arms wrap around the shins, forehead up towards the knees, tight squeeze. Then extend into Shavasana. Legs extend long, arms hang heavy. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Softening into the shape. Finding stillness and quiet. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Body can remain still. If it feels good and is available to you today, you are more than welcome to stay in this place of rest. If it's time to close out your practice, start with whatever gentle movement intuitively feels good to wake up your body. Taking your time, going nice and slow. Eventually guide yourself to a fetal position on either side, using that as a transition to press yourself up to any comfortable seated position. Eyes staying soft or closed. Nice long spine here, crown of the head reaches towards the sky. We'll close with a collective breath. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your hands back to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thanks for being part of this rad community, and I hope the rest of your day is wonderful.